Hello everyone. So today we are going to discuss about chapter 2, that is microorganisms. Now, what are actually the microorganisms? The organisms that are very small and cannot be seen through naked eyes, and they can only be seen through the instrument that is known as microscope, right? So that's why termed as microorganism or microbes, right? Now, before moving towards the other steps, let's discuss what is actually microscope, how it looks. So this is what the microscope, it is the compound microscope, fine. So microorganism can be studied and seen through this instrument which is known as microscope, okay? So this is a compound microscope, okay? Right. So there are different, parts of the microscope which has been explained here. That is eyepiece lens, which magnifies the image. If you want to magnify and focus on the image, size of the image, then it can be done by this. Then coarse adjustment for rough adjustment. Then fine adjustment for precise adjustment, precise focus. Then clip, it holds the slide over here. Then stage height and adjustment. If you want to adjust the height of the microscope, you can adjust by this. Then nose piece, this resolves the to move the desired lens in the position, like it maintains the position of the lens. Then objective lens, stage cover slip, it covers the object. Then glass slide, the object can be viewed on the glass slide. Then diaphragm lever, condenser. So these are actually the parts of the compound microscope which is actually used for the studies and to see the microorganism which we cannot see from the naked eyes, right? So before moving to anything other, let's discuss the classification of the microorganism actually. So there are different type of microorganism. First of all, we'll discuss about bacteria. So there are different shapes of bacteria. Suppose they can be of rod like shape, they can be of spherical shape, they can be comma shape, they can be spiral. So you could see the different shapes, yeah. So you could see the bacteria are of different shape, a different size, right? But when it comes to algae, we are talking here about singular algae, that is, these are the plant like autotrophic microorganism, okay? They can be unicellular, they can be multicellular. They have chlorophyll and cell walls in their cells. That's why you could see that they are green, actually green in nature, okay? Suppose there are, the clumps and the groups of algae which is known as colonies, right? Now let's come to fungi, which is unlike of algae. This is also singular fungus. Like these organisms, they lack chlorophyll, and that's why you could see they are actually, not having green color in nature. They have heterotrophic mode of nature. When it comes to algae, they have autotrophic mode of nutrition. Okay, these also can be multicellular, unicellular. You could see you know this particular fungus from the naked eye itself. You might have observed fungus on chapatis. You might have observed fungus on clothes. So this is all of this is about the microorganism. Then the protozoa, when we are discussing protozoa, these are the unicellular microorganisms with animal like characteristics, like they move, they capture food, they have different type of habitat like fresh water, salt water, soil, etc. For example, amoeba, right? Amoeba. Then it is, there are many, paramuseum. So there you could see there are many type of protozoas, right? Then we come to virus. So singular virus, they cannot be seen actually through the naked eyes, and for this, to see the microorganism, we need electron microscope actually, you know and we need to magnify it up to 2 lakh times of to observe their original size, okay? So for this, to observe viruses, we need original microscope or electron microscope, right? So for example, you could see influenza virus, which is very common, right? So this is all about the classification of microorganism. Then let's talk about the disease causing by microorganisms. So The microorganisms that causes disease are known as pathogens and germs. These are the pathogens and the germs causes the disease to the microorganism. Suppose air. Suppose someone is suffering from cold and cough and sneezes. So the viruses from the sick person would be carried to the healthy person and will obviously affect the healthy person. Then it lemon. Then it comes to food and water. Suppose you might have heard about food poisoning, right? Food poisoning, of course. Then contact, suppose a sick person comes in contact with another healthy person, then again it results in the disease. Then carriers like malaria, right? Malaria causing germs, they transfers to the other healthy person and results in malaria. Then cuts and wounds. Suppose someone has cuts and has some wounds, okay, and it has some of the infections in it, so it will again lead to some diseases. Now the disease caused by fungi. In plants it is leaf rust, potato blight, which is caused by fungi. And in humans we might have observed the fungal infections on our skin, the athlete's foot, they also have the fungal infections. Suppose ringworm is another fungal infection which is commonly seen. Then it comes to disease caused by bacteria. So cholera is the disease caused by bacteria Vibrio cholerae, and it is generally found in human beings. So these are the particular diseases which are caused by microorganism, fungi and bacteria. Then we'll move towards the virus causing diseases. Okay, so when it comes to virus causing diseases, they are actually very serious sort of diseases which cannot be easily cured, or which are actually incurable in nature. One of them is acquired immune deficiency syndrome, that is AIDS, which is caused by the virus human immunodeficiency virus, HIV, right? So this is somewhat very incurable disease, which is disease caused by viruses. Some of you have heard about hepatitis, right? Some of you. So these are the diseases which are actually incurable, which caused from viruses. Then but viruses are actually some of the microorganisms are actually very beneficial. Now how? Through the process of fermentation. It can be used in the process of baking of bread. Then it can be used in the preparation of wine. It can be used in the formation of curd from milk. So through the process of fermentation, they are the beneficial microorganism which can be beneficial through the process of fermentation in the formation of many things which we use on daily purpose. Now medicinal use. When we talk about medicinal use, penicillin is an antibiotic which is obtained from fungus penicillium, right? So this is the antibiotic, for example, which we used in medicine purpose. So you could see diseases which are caused from the microorganisms are actually very much are actually very much popular, and we could say microorganisms are actually harmful, but at some part of our life microorganisms are actually beneficial to us as well. Then the degradation, we are going to discuss degradation in the further chapter, that is the process of breakdown of complex material to simpler materials, right? Then this process is actually carried by bacteria and fungi, and that leads to spoilage of food, which you might have seen that degradation of food is done by bacteria and fungi, which leads to spoilage of food. Then further in this whole chapter we are going to discuss about preservation of food and its techniques. So we need to preserve food, right? So that it cannot be get infected from the bacteria or the fungi, or so that we can prevent ourselves from being sick. So how we can use the technique? Suppose sun drying. So through the sun drying we can remove the moisture content which has been there in the particular food item, and we can save the particular item from spoiling, particular food from spoiling. Then using of vinegar or oils, you might have seen that mothers, generally they use vinegar or sort of oil, in the pickles or something like that. So why do we do that? So that it helps in prevention from spoiling of food, that particular pickle. Then freezing, of course, we use freezer, refrigerators to preserve our household items like vegetables and many more things, right? So we maintain the temperature till 5 degrees Celsius, so that the food can be preserved in a better way, right? So this is all about we are going to discuss, and we have discussed in a detailed manner in this whole chapter. Thank you so much for listening. Be safe, keep learning from home.